I get to do the honors of introducing Seth. Seth was born and raised right here in Oakdale. I know. That's the best part, right? He graduated from Oakdale High School in 97. Same as me. Woo! 97. He attended Idaho State and Cal Poly. He graduated in 02 from Cal Poly. He was drafted by the San Diego Chargers. He played NFL Europe and Barcelona for the Dragons. Wait, no. He played in NFL Europe for the Barcelona Dragons. Let me get that correct. He's currently an estimator project manager at DHI in Modesto. He's married to Jill, and they have 3 kids, West Dakota and Snyder.
Oh, I love those names.
Welcome, Seth Burford.
Thank you guys. So, I guess the reason I'm here today to talk about careers. Mine is twofold, of course, as you can tell. I have a real job now. I work at GHI, like she says, a grading paving company in Modesto. I've been there for a while, actually part owner of the company at this point, so that's where I'm at. I brought pictures if you guys want to look at it, but what I ended up talking about the entire last period with the 8th graders was football. I know that was, everybody was curious about that aspect of my life. As she said, I did grow up here in Oakdale. I went to junior high right here. I actually went to Fair Oaks, probably like half of you guys here did.
Woo!
I was in the same spot you guys were, I guess for me that's probably 25 years ago. So, played flag football here at the junior high, and I did not start on any team here at the junior high ever. I was not a starter. So, where you guys are at now, and if you don't start, it doesn't mean much right now. I promise you. You're all going to develop at different rates. I was a short, fat kid growing up, and I was 6'1" when I graduated junior high. So you guys will all grow differently. So don't get caught up of, hey, this kid's so much better than me. I'm not going to be at this same spot. Boys and girls. So my wife is the same way. She ran track in Oakdale. She's a great athlete. She has, I think, 3 or 4 track records at the high school still that have stood for 20-something years. So her and I are very similar, growing up like that. But a little more background on how I grew up, which is where you guys are all at now. Went to Oakdale High School, and that was the first year I ever played football in my life, tackle football. Never played, never put on a helmet until I was a freshman in high school. And I still didn't start. I was still a backup my freshman year in high school. So you guys think that, hey, I did get drafted, I did get a football scholarship, but at that age of 14 or 15, I wasn't good enough to even play in high school. So that's why I say, stick with where you're at. Things can change real quick. Ended up getting to play at Oakdale, and you guys all know Mr. Webb. Yeah. I played with him and grew up with him, so I know him well. That is part of the reason why I'm here. We were on the team that won the first section championship here in Oakdale, and it was fun. It was a great experience. So now they win all the time. That wasn't how it always was. We were the very first team to win. So it was a good group of guys that I grew up with. We were all real competitive with each other athletically and academically. And I say that because the academic side of it is more important than any of it. So I know all you guys are, how many of you guys in here are athletes? So I know kind of what I'm talking about. If you kind of are, you are. It don't, yeah. Okay, so that gives me a good idea. How many of you guys, let's see, of everybody here, how many of you guys have over a 3.5?
Grade point average, 3.5. That would be a gold card.
That's good. How many of you guys compete with your friends to get higher grades? You guys competitive with who gets the highest grade in the class? It's a good thing. In my mind, it's a good thing. You guys want to be like that. You want to push each other. I know the group of guys I grew up with, John Webb, Mr. Webb, including him. We were all competitive with each other and everything we did. Look, he's your principal now, right? He's done well. He's a great guy. He's got a family. So it's a good thing to be in that spot. Push yourself, push your friends. But from there, I did go to college to Idaho State. I had played football here at Oakville. I had one scholarship offer. That was it. So it was a little disappointing, but it's a small school. I got to go experience, and my parents dropped me off. I was 18 years old, and that was it. I was on my own in another state. So grew up real fast and played there for a couple years. Ended up transferring to Cal Poly, and then played there a couple more years. So that was the college career I had. And then at that point, that's when I'm sure some of you guys have heard that I was drafted by the Chargers. So that is a time in my life that I'll never forget. I'm sure some of you guys, girls, dream of doing something to that extent of being a pro athlete. Anybody have that goal? Be a pro athlete? That's a great goal to have. Come on, Caesar, you don't have that goal? Huh? Yeah, there is. Endorsements.
You'd be like John Cena.
So,
Go to the Olympics.
Realistically, do you guys know how many pro athletes come from high school athletics?
Oh.
I know.
No, go ahead. Do you know? Did you pay attention today?
Yeah.
Let's see. How many? 2 out of what? Out of how many?
6 million?
No, that's not quite that. You almost got it. What?
That's what you said today.
That is what I said today.
What is it?
Go ahead.
1% out of 7.2 million people.
It's a very, very, very low number.
Yeah.
It's a very low number. I was lucky. Luck and hard work goes into it. The other side of it, you guys know Mr. Fox at the high school? Well, that's my cousin, and him and I were actually both drafted the same year. He was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the same time.
Right.
So we were lucky. We had 2 guys from Oakville, 2 guys from the same family, and him and I are 6 weeks apart.
Wow.
So it's something that doesn't happen a lot. Yeah, you hear about brothers, and it does happen once in a while, but we were fortunate where we were at and what we got to experience. He ended up getting cut by Tampa Bay, and he ended up on the Chargers with me. So the chances now, and to top it off, he was a center, I was a quarterback. So the first day of practice, the coaches came over to me and said, "Hey, the new guy looks like you." I said, "Yeah, it's my cousin." They had no idea. So funny story that happened. So you guys need to have a plan. You guys understand what those numbers mean of how many people make it? It's very low. And sometimes people identify themselves as, "Hey, I'm just a football player. Hey, I'm just a volleyball player," or whatever you do. You've got to be more well-rounded than that. To me, the biggest disappointment thing I hear, because I help coach the high school football team too. Not out there all the time, but I do spend a lot of time with the team and get to meet the kids and go out there. But the hardest thing to hear is when anybody is ineligible. It's the easiest part that you need to take care of in sports, by far. You're at school all day, you have homework, you apply yourself, there's no reason you should be ineligible, ever. Does everybody understand that? So to carry, I think it's what, a C average, is that
2.0. Do you guys know what it means to be ineligible?
Yeah.
You do? What is it?
Not to be able to play football or sports.
Yeah, and when you go over to the high school, if you plan to play football, you got to have a 2.0 the end of your 8th grade year. So they check that. Just saying.
So that part of it right there, and it happens every year.
Yeah.
It could be wrestling, it could be baseball, it could be football, but every year there's kids that are ineligible for no reason. Yeah, go.
What were your grades?
What was that?
What were your grades?
So my grades were extremely good, and I'm proud of it. And I'll tell you that my wife, who was salutatorian at Oakdale High School. You guys know what that is, salutatorian?
Oh, dang.
She had the second highest GPA at the school. So she had a really good GPA. And she gives me crap because I had the 7th highest. I wasn't at the top, but my grades were good.
got the bottom part
They were
open.
extremely good. I was proud of it. I did take a couple AP classes. Junior high, I don't know if they even had AP back then. I don't remember. I don't think they did. I think, and they didn't have many AP classes in high school back then. There were only a couple. So I know now they have a whole bunch, and you can apply yourself and go a whole bunch of places. But the grade side, academic side, the reason I bring that up is that most of you guys, how many of you guys want to play some sort of sport in college?
In college. Sports in college.
Okay, so if I take you two kids right here, and you guys are the exact same in the sport. One of you is a 4.0 student, and one of you is a 2.0 student.
Mason's.
Who is the coach? Who are the coaches going to want to take?
Mason.
So it goes a long ways. All things equal, because a lot of times, especially the path I went on, I went to a smaller school, and then what helped me were my grades. I was actually accepted to Princeton, and that was based upon my grades. Yes, I got in football helped, but you guys understand where Princeton's at, right? Or what it is?
Wow.
It's one of the top academic schools in the world. Yeah, I didn't go there because I had an athletic scholarship to another school, so financially it's an expensive school to go to also. But the grades is a driving factor of what coaches are looking at too. So you guys may not think so now, but it will go a long ways in whatever you're doing. And if you're thinking now, I've got time, I don't have to start, you're putting yourself on a path that you're just getting used to being average. Take care of your academics, and the sport side of it will come. I know a couple of you in here, I know Caesar, I've seen him, and he's done well athletically. I don't know how his grades are academically. I hope they're good. Good. So there's that side of it. And it is, like I said earlier, to be competitive with your friends regarding grades, I think is a great thing. So, anybody else have any questions at this point?
Over there in the corner.
Oh, go ahead.
Did you play for any other team besides the Chargers? Or?
Yes. So when I was, after my first year at the Chargers, you guys ever heard of NFL Europe? I think it disbanded before some of you guys talked before. But they did have teams over, the NFL had teams over in Europe. They had teams in Germany, Scotland, Amsterdam. I was in Barcelona, so I got to play for the Barcelona Dragons. I'm sure most of you guys have heard of FC Barcelona.
Yeah.
So we played in the little stadium next to their big stadium. So when I say little, it's still, I want to say, held 30 or 40,000 people. So you guys go to the games here at the high school, and you guys think that's a lot of people at those games? That's probably a few thousand people, maybe 2, 3, 4,000. So we played in a small stadium that held 25, 30,000. But when I was over in Europe, I did get to travel and play in Germany at some of the old stadiums where they had the Olympics. I got to play Scotland. Amsterdam was fun, and we played in bigger stadiums that there were times we had 50 or 60,000 people that, and most of the fans knew nothing about American football. They were all Europeans that like soccer. So it was interesting because they're all blowing whistles the whole time, and it was so I got to live on the beach in Barcelona for 4 months. That's all I did. Played football, and when I say play football as a pro athlete, it's a job. You show up in the morning at typically 6 o'clock. You work out. So an average day of what we did was you work out, eat together as a team. You go to meetings for a few hours. You study. Then you eat lunch. Then you go to practice. Then you come back in, shower, watch game film. You get home about 5 or 6 every night. So it's fun. You're paid to do it. Paid to play a game. So I don't have much sympathy for many athletes nowadays because you are paid to play a game. So, and then I was also with the Chiefs, Kansas City. Right. So I got to travel a little bit. Go ahead.
Did you ever wrestle?
No, I did not wrestle, and I have a huge amount of respect for kids that wrestle nowadays. My kid wrestles, my daughters wrestle, and my daughters are 6 and 8 years old.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, I did not wrestle. My dad wrestled growing up, and he did not force me to do anything. My parents never forced me to do anything. So they let me choose which path I went on. But I think wrestling, after learning about it and watching kids like you and my son wrestle, I have a huge amount of respect for kids who do it. Anybody does it. It's hard. It's probably the hardest sport out there. I now do jiu-jitsu though. I do like that. Something new I tried a few years ago. So that's my closest thing to wrestling. Any other questions?
Over here.
Yep.
Do you ever play soccer?
Yes, I did. My passion was soccer growing up. I almost played soccer instead of football.
Oh.
So when I got into high school, it was the first year they switched soccer to football season, and I had to choose because I played goalie most of my life.
Yeah, that's like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suck.
So I think soccer is one of the best sports out there. But yeah, I chose football over soccer. I actually
Wow.
play soccer nowadays too, with an adult team. Yeah. So I'm out there, but I do love soccer. I coach my kids' soccer teams.
I think you coach my brother.
Huh?
I think you coach my brother.
Who's your brother?
Jonathan.
Yes, I did. Coached him last year, and we won the championship.
Yeah.
So-
Nice.
Yeah. So, and the thing you got to realize too, if you guys are athletic, you're going to be good in any sport you do. You got to think of it in terms. I know a lot of kids nowadays specialize in one sport, and it gets hard. You guys are going year round. You got to do it because you love to do it. That makes sense. Don't do it for other people. Do it for yourself. That's why I made the comment about my parents never forced me to wrestle. Never made me do anything. It was always up to me. But if you guys want to succeed in it, it has to be up to you, nobody else. Like my kid, I played pro football. I already told him the rule in the house. He cannot play tackle football until high school. Just flat out. That's my opinion, whether right or wrong. And who knows, if he doesn't play, I don't care. That's up to him. Knowing him, he will, but it's just the way I am about it. He chose to wrestle. And that's how I've seen Caesar in there. I know nothing about wrestling. So I think any sport's good, anything you do. So, yep. My kids play a little bit of everything. They,
Seems like the trend now. Little
yeah,
of everything.
they play, right now my son is in baseball, wrestling, and soccer. And then my daughters are in wrestling, softball, and soccer. So they're, my wife's an athlete, they're athletic, and I guess that's how our household is. So we do a lot together to stay active. But yeah, I don't have a favorite sport over any other. It's up to the person of what you want to do. And that's why I say, how much work you want to put in on certain things, especially when you start getting at a higher level. Some of you guys that want to go to college, you have to do it on your own and get to that point. I know some of the wrestlers are forced to, but I know some of the, I don't know if the wrestling does. I know the football team, I think, works out in the mornings before school.
Oh, 0 period.
Zero
Yep.
period. When I was in high school, there were about 5 or 6 of us that actually went to Fitness Plus in the morning with Brian, and that was on our own. So we weren't forced to, we wanted to get better, but that's part of being competitive with each other too. So you have to put in the time, you have to put in the work to get to that point. Any other questions? Yep.
Did you ever play basketball?
I did play basketball. I played 1 year here at the junior high when they didn't have a gym. We had our
Yeah.
basketball practices on
On the
basketball
court.
right here. It was not fun. And then I played all 4 years in high school. So I played all 4 years at Oakdale. We were average at Oakdale. I can't remember the last time they had a good basketball team. It's been a while. But
Kobe, you gonna change that?
yeah, hopefully you guys come
Oh,
through.
oh, that's right.
Trust me, I follow the basketball team. It's not fun to see the records, but hopefully you guys come through and change all that. So we'll see. And that's, I think the girls have had some good teams. I was referring to the boys of Stroud. I think the girls have done well in some years. Hopefully you guys do real well coming up at the high school. I'd be happy to hear that. You gotta remember, in my position, I'm born and raised in Oakdale. I've been here my whole life. I live in Valley Home, so my kids will go to Oakdale. I still, most everything I do is in Oakdale.
It's the motto, right?
You gotta remember, families have been here forever. We love seeing older people, myself, enjoy seeing the kids do well, the community do well, any sports team from Oakdale do well. It's fun to see. So you have the support of the whole community. There's not many towns like Oakdale around here. Not many at all. Yep. What school do my kids go to? They go to Fair Oaks. I know I said I live in Valley Home, but they go to Fair Oaks.
I asked that because I have 2 younger siblings in Fair Oaks.
Do you? They probably.
I have a 4th grader and a second grader.
Well, then they go to school like kids. I have a 4th grader, 2nd grader, and a kindergarten.
Aww.
So, did you have a question back there? Oh, I thought somebody was there. So,
You can talk about playing all the sports.
yeah, they were asking different questions about it.
You can talk about not making the first string.
Yeah, yeah, I mentioned that. Which is, yeah, that's still, it's still funny on that. A lot of people don't believe me, but I went through it. I sat the bench. It's hard. That's the hardest thing to do.
Michael Jordan,
Being the
too.
starter
Didn't make
is
his
easier than
first
being
team.
the backup. I promise you that. I promise you that. And that's what I'm sure, when I was in the NFL, the guy that backed up was Drew Brees. I'm sure most of you guys did.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. It's funny. So the story's like, my locker was right next to LaDainian Tomlinson, which I'm sure you guys know him too.
Really?
Tomlinson. And I had the same agent as Tom Brady. So it's, once you're in that, once you get to that level, that community's small. There's not a lot of people. So you're,
Yeah.
I was number 12.
Are you Googling? He's Googling.
So I think Tom Brady I drafted 2 years before I did. No, I was 7th round. Later in the draft.
Oh, you were Hey, Brady was 6.
Yeah. Yeah, you read that right there? I was not. He was reading my card of what my bench press was. I promise you, I was not very strong in guy. But it took a lot of work, and I grew. Like I said, I didn't shave till I was in college. I was one of those guys. I know some of you guys are probably shaving in junior high, and I remember guys I grew up with that were a lot more mature than the rest of us in junior high. It will change. Some of you guys will develop differently than others. So just give it time. Learn and work. All I can tell you is work as hard as you can with whatever you want to do. So,
TMI, guys.
any other
TMI.
questions on anything? That's good? Okay.
Any other questions? All right, say thank you.